Well, it's been called the mother of all deals. It's a huge free trade agreement that India has signed with the European Union, one that potentially has a chance at altering or impacting the lives of up to 2 billion people, not just in our country, but in Europe as well. If you look at the overall numbers, it could be between 25 and $27 trillion in terms of the overall marketplace. How does this fit into the broader India story as we look for a developed nation status by 2047? We've got the Minister Piyush Goyal with us. He's been working on so many of these free trade agreements, and it really does make a big difference. So what I thought I'd do, for a larger audience, is go through some very basic questions so that people know what this is all about. So the first question is this: will Indian consumers immediately benefit at the checkout counter? How soon does the person actually feel?
We need to do the legal scrub, and then it goes to the European Parliament for approval. But later in this calendar year, maybe the last quarter of this calendar year, is when I expect this to be ready to come into effect. As that happens, we have two situations. One, almost all of our labor-intensive manufactured goods get duty-free access, zero duty access. Immediately. Yeah. So we calculated that nearly 95% of our labor-intensive exports get straight away zero duty access to the EU. Over a period of time, they also start getting lower duty, in some cases zero duty, in some cases phased duty reduction, some cases a TRQ over the next 7 to 10 years. In India, what we have done is we've calibrated it smartly that goods which are required by us immediately, for example, there'll be some medical devices which are good for India, for our healthcare, for our patients, which we have given faster duty elimination or reduction, in most cases even immediately. Those where our industry needed some time to calibrate itself or adjust to the new evolving situation, we've taken a transition period. All in all, the agreement is a very fair, very balanced agreement. It will open up huge job opportunities for India, young Indians. It will open up large market in the services space. 144 subsectors in services now will have access to the European market. The mobility partnership will help people with talent, with skills, particularly those who also learn languages to get work opportunities in the European Union. Legal immigration is really required by EU. They need young talent, young skills. What they have a problem of is the illegal immigrants who have flooded their country, and they're trying to sort that out. But the talent of India, the peaceful and very sober Indian workers who go to different parts of the world, or engineers and doctors and caregivers, are truly welcome everywhere they go. So it'll have a benefit to different sections of society in different ways. Our fishermen will benefit hugely. Our textile industry is one of the biggest gainers. Everything in textile goes duty-free to the EU from day one. And Vishnu, you must have heard over many years, we used to cry how Bangladesh exports $30 billion or Vietnam because they had zero duty. They had an FTA with Vietnam, LDC country, least developed country, Bangladesh. We didn't have that zero duty. We were paying up to 12%. Now we will be at par. And our 7 billion can go to great heights.
But tell me something, cynics, I wouldn't use the word cynics, but those who are like, is this really, it sounds too good to be true, say that it's all very good to have European products coming into our market at the customs duty level. There is an immediate change, but then the minister or the government will bring in cess, they'll bring in GST, and therefore for the common person it's not going to make much of a difference. How would you respond?
I think our track record shows that we have on the contrary reduced taxes, whether it's income tax up to 12 lakhs and for the salaried earners 12,75,000 is totally tax free. Corporate taxes have been reduced to 25%, amongst the lowest in emerging markets. GST reduction has been a continuous affair. You look at so many meetings, and culminating in the huge reductions earlier this 6 months ago, or on 22nd of September, Navratri. So I think this government's track records gives confidence that the benefit will flow to the consumers for whatever we feel is necessary to import, and the benefit will go to our young men and women looking for highly paid jobs, high quality jobs, both in the manufacturing sector in India, in the service sector in India, and through those who get an opportunity to serve in European Union.
So why is this the mother of all deals? This wasn't your phrase, it was the EU leadership's phrase. When in fact you've got deals with New Zealand, UAE, with the United Kingdom, you're looking to do something with America. Why is this the mother of all deals?
Clearly the size and scale.
Okay.
2 billion people impacted between European Union and India. The fact that between the two of us, we represent 1/3 of global trade. Between the two of us, we represent a quarter of the global GDP. I mean, this truly are two very important, powerful democracies coming together. And bear in mind, when Ms. von der Leyen spoke about the mother of all deals, she was looking at the future. The world recognizes that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's decisive and very, very strong leadership, India will continue to be the fastest growing economy for several decades. We are today contributing 20% to global growth.
Yes.
Our $4 trillion economy will become a $35 trillion economy in the next 22, 23 years. FTA is always about the future. Free trade agreement you're planning, you're crystal gazing into the future. Ms. von der Leyen can jolly well see that with this scorching pace of growth, the India story opens huge potential.
You are also negotiating a trade deal with America. That's not happened yet, but you are talking very actively. There have been some reactions. For example, Mr. Besant has not had the nicest things to say, saying that European nations went ahead and got into a trade deal with India and are willy-nilly helping the Russians in the war against Ukraine. I found these remarks to be a bit strange because we happen to be talking to America as well. Is this a case of sour grapes?
No. We are having very good discussions with the United States of America. I'm in regular contact with my counterparts. And I think we'll have an equally robust, equally good deal with the United States of America quite soon.
Are you, and I'm sorry to sort of persist with this, but are there fundamental differences which is why we are delayed in this?
No, I don't think so. I think we're coming closer to hopefully conclude a good deal in the near future.
And are you going to give me a time period? Vishnu, in 6 months, I'm telling you right now, it'll be done.
You must have heard me on so many interviews and public comments.
Yes.
We never negotiate with a deadline. Never. Even the EU deal. I was under no pressure whatsoever from my Prime Minister, as was Maros under no pressure from his leader, that we have to do it by the 22nd.
Right.
We've been pursuing it for 3.5 years. It's been a relentless effort over 3.5 years, 16 in-person rounds, more than 10 meetings between the ministers, Maros and me. I don't know, umpteen number of video conferences. Many of them may have happened from this room itself. It's a labor of love over 3.5 years. So it's a happy coincidence that we were so close to conclusion that we got that last spur because Her Excellency Ms. von der Leyen and His Excellency Mr. De Costa are coming. And it just helped to kind of nudge us into the last 1 or 2 items that were left. Possibly if this had been done a month ago, we would have announced it a month earlier.
Sure. The EU is well known for regulatory complexity. It's not easy, their system. Therefore, as you look to implement quickly, and as they look to implement quickly, are their own rules and regulations a challenge?
Well, every country has their own rules and regulations. India has its own regulatory practices. They have their own. And in both countries, since we believe in fair play, we are democracies, there's no discrimination between the domestic manufacturers and the foreign parties who export into our economy. And likewise in European Union. So India is not at a disadvantage or discriminated in European Union. If there are regulatory challenges, we have to face them. And we have been doing it successfully. Even today, we have a trade surplus with the EU. We are exporting $75 billion worth of goods and $46 billion worth of services. We have companies who have invested billions of dollars into the EU economy. We have 6,000 European companies working in India, admirably adding to our Indian economy. So I think both countries are fair in their dealings, the 27 nation bloc and India. Both of us have now created a rapid response mechanism where at the initial stage, 2 levels of bureaucrats or officials. Finally, the ministerial level, we are going to have a regular exchange to smoothen the edges. We also have a Trade and Technology Council, a TTC, which is a very powerful instrument to ensure we sort out any issues which affect trade. And we are both equally committed to support each other because we complement each other.
Right.
Frankly, the EU and India, there's no competition.
Yeah.
On almost every score, we only complement and add value to each other's economy.
Sure. We are living in a world which is in geopolitical churn, geostrategic churn. The fact that you have agreements with countries ranging from New Zealand to the United Kingdom, possibly the US in the future, and now EU in a big way, is that important for us as a country because it gives India options in the present scenario?
Really, we are living in very volatile times, very, very complex geopolitical situation. And I think this visit of the European Union leaders is truly historic, not just for the free trade agreement, but in terms of the overall comprehensive discussions and agreements that we have entered into. We've had a defense partnership. We've tied up on the Reserve Bank of India and the Central Bank of Europe entering into an MOU for the interbank transfers and exchange. We also have a partnership on mobility to promote the workers and officials and talent from India getting an opportunity to serve in European Union through pathways that are going to be created with each individual country. So really, it's a very multifaceted, multidimensional, and geopolitically very strategic timing and important visit and outcomes.
Sure.
In that context, I think India's own engagement with the rest of the world, particularly the developed world, the 8 FTAs Mr. Modi's government has done, are all with developed countries. We have covered 37 developed countries, and all are very fair and balanced agreements. Where there were smaller economies, we got some other benefit to balance. For example, the $100 billion investment commitment from the 4-nation EFTA bloc, Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein and Iceland. Similarly, New Zealand, $20 billion commitment. Australia removed a double tax that they were charging on the IT industry, which will spur our IT exports to them. UK gave us double contribution convention, that social security or totalization agreement for 3 years. So our people who work there temporarily save 25% of their salary, which was otherwise going to the treasury, now comes to their PF account in India. So all in all, India is negotiating smart, is negotiating fair deals, and is negotiating opportunities for our youth, which are unparalleled.
I know what you were telling me about how this free trade agreement has an impact on various parts of our economy. But there are those who, and I was reading this article, say that this is a democratization of luxury. Why? From premium cars to imported spirits. This is something the middle class would certainly see as a win-win. Would you say that this FTA is a democratization of luxury at one level?
Well, I would look at it the other way. That this is a pathway to many people who are the neo-middle class. The 25 crore people we removed out of poverty and who are entering the middle class levels. This is an opportunity for them to increase their incomes, become more aspirational, and with growing incomes, look for the better things of life. Our view is that we are actually providing the pathway for greater prosperity for 140 crore Indians.
One final question. It's an important day for you personally, isn't it? It's the 100th birth anniversary of your father. He would have been incredibly proud of you, with the work you're doing, these very difficult deals that you're negotiating. Tell us a little bit about what in him inspired you or continues to inspire you as you do your work.
Vishnu was a very simple human being. very, very committed to the nation, very committed to his family, very committed to the cause. He was an engineer from Banaras Hindu University, did his mechanical and electrical engineering there. Wanted to become a full-time pracharak of the RSS, but destiny had in store for him to come to Mumbai. Started from very humble beginnings. He actually worked in a small steel company in Mumbai at the Masgon Docks. And since he didn't have a place to live when he moved there, he used to stay in the BPT, the Bombay Port Trust godown of that company. And in the night, the rats used to bite his toes, he would tell us. So he would remove the spare parts from the shelf, sleep on the shelf in the night, come down in the morning and put the spare parts back. That was the humble beginnings with which he started his journey, but did well in life. But look at the irony also. From there, he became the shipping minister and the BPT came under him.
Right.
So it's destiny.
What goes around comes around.
But he taught us a lot of values. He taught us, for example, how important it is to be hands-on and very perfect in your work. There was a small instance in his life which we have used all our life to encourage ourselves, or our parents used to encourage us, and we've used to encourage our kids. And it's been generationally going down the whole extended family. There was an exam in college where the question paper was out of syllabus.
Right.
And the university gave the option that you can write the paper again if you're not satisfied with your marks, or you can accept the marks that you had. And he had got 99 out of 100. It was a maths paper. He was very dissatisfied.
He did it again.
So he did it again.
Yeah.
There's a risk. He could have been lower than 99. But he got his 100.
Wow.
And that's the kind of spirit he always had. Would get into great detail, get into... if I ever presented a paper to him, it would come back to me with 200 corrections in that one paper.
Right.
And he would always try to encourage you to be very, very finicky about perfection.
Yeah.
I remember once I wrote a paper to present to Atalji when he was Prime Minister. I wanted to suggest to him that he should revive the interlinking of rivers program. This was way back in 1999, June of 1990. No, it was August of 1999, not 99, August of 2001 or so,
Right.
August of 2001.
Yeah.
The 99 note was a different note. The August 2001 or so, I don't remember the exact year. I think it was 1 or 2. And I wrote a small paper, flood versus drought. And I tried to suggest to Prime Minister Vajpayee at that time that he should revive the interlinking of rivers program, which was initiated 30 years or 40 years ago. And I showed it to my dad that, look, I'm going to talk to Atalji and go and give him this paper. And he had a look at it, and he said, there was a map with it also. I had shown how the rivers, where they could be linked and stuff like that. And he looked at it and he said, what a drab headline you've given it, flood versus drought. Right. Atalji is a poet. Make that more exciting.
Yeah.
So I went back, I had the appointment next morning, and I tried to drum up the whole day whether I could think of something better. Failed. So I went back to him in the evening and I said, Papa, I can't think of something better. Can you help me? And he looks at it and he says, say, Bharat needs Bhagirath again. Because Atalji had created the golden quadrilateral.
Yes, of course.
And this was very similar.
Yeah.
So he connected that Bhagirath to the idea. So he was truly special. A very down-to-earth person. Even today, when I go to the BJP office, since he spent a long number of years in the BJP office, people even today remember him very fondly. Most of the staff there, right from the peons and clerks there, were hired when, were given their job.
Sure.
When he was looking after that office at 11 Ashok Road, our old BJP office. So they're very fond memories.
Excellent.
Lots of learnings, lots that he has left behind for us to remember him by,
Absolutely.
and to learn and encourage us to serve the nation.
Well, you have served the nation. You continue to do so. These are complex agreements that you've managed to sort of help negotiate, be a key part of that entire process. There's a lot ahead. The target is 2047. Implementation will, of course, be key. We look forward to the success of the India-EU trade agreement and indeed the others. The Minister Piyush Goyal over there telling us about a central economic strategy that India continues to follow. The budget is just, I would say, a couple of hours ahead. Let's see how this fits into the larger plans. There are huge opportunities and challenges, but if this works out, it would benefit, as we've identified, more than 2 billion people in Europe and in India put together.